Welcome to a Live with Amanda. I'm actually going to do a topic that I did probably about 2 to 3 years ago that is relevant today for me and relevant for a lot of women who are out there either in private practice who are pregnant or planning on getting pregnant and wondering about maternity leave. So I've learned every state is very different and that some states do offer some like state-sponsored maternity leave. So you want to find out about your specific state. Now, I'm in Florida. We don't have any of that. I won't go on a soapbox about that, but we just don't have that. And so what I would actually recommend somebody do is that they get short-term disability through a company like Aflac. We have Aflac at our group practice. We offer that as a benefit to our clinicians, and it's really, really great. The only caveat to Aflac is that there's a time, like a wait period. So you can't like get Aflac tomorrow, be pregnant and get your, money a month later. I think there's a 9-month waiting period. So it's really good for people who know they want to get pregnant in the future, but aren't already pregnant. And so that is something that I highly recommend you look into, some type of short-term disability if you don't have anything through where you're working, where you live, etc. The other thing you can do, which is what I did the first time around. See, now the second time around, I'm doing the same thing, but life circumstances got in the way of for me to be on short-term disability. And so I wasn't able to actually join. I mean, I could have joined the short-term disability, but they weren't going to cover my maternity leave because of the timing of when I was pregnant. And so I don't have short-term disability, but I would absolutely get it if I was able to, sort of like the next time. The other thing that people do, and the thing that I did my first time, was save up the money. I mean, there's nothing else that you can do. It's really hard. I hate saying it, but I saved up. I saved up for a majority of my maternity leave. We cut expenses. We were really, mindful. I worked as much as I could to how I felt. If anybody knows me for a long time, watched the videos, very sick my first pregnancy. I still worked a full caseload, but it was really, really hard. This time around, I'm not as sick, so it's been a little bit better. And so knowing that, I really made sure that I still saw like a full caseload and that I put the money aside for maternity leave. Again, even if it wasn't like to match my salary, sort of like dollar for dollar. Just know when you do go on maternity leave, a lot of your expenses will decrease. Like you won't be seeing clients, so you won't be paying the credit card. There's some things that you can put on pause, but you are still going to have expenses for your business, especially if you're in private practice, because you can't necessarily pause your electronic health record for 2 months or 3 months. It doesn't necessarily make sense to do those kinds of things because you're going to need access to it right when you come back. So some expenses will go down, but you will have some expenses that are just naturally there. And so you have to also plan for your business expenses. You're still going to have to pay taxes. You're not going to be generating any income during that time, right? But you still will have to pay taxes on any income that you generated. And so unfortunately, I don't have all these wonderful tips and strategies on how to go on maternity leave, because the reality is that you have to save up for it when you're in private practice. And so let's talk about how to really practically do that. But first, let's thank our sponsor, TherapyNotes. If you're looking for an electronic health record that can really keep you organized for your solo or your group practice, your insurance-based or your private pay practice, or your in-person or virtual practice, they do have a free telehealth option. I want you to check out TherapyNotes. I love it because we bill through there. We bill credit cards, we bill insurance. We have the online portal. We send assessments, we send paperwork. It's really where our clinicians, that's the tool that they use to be clinicians. I love it. We have a group practice, runs so smoothly for us. So I highly recommend you check out TherapyNotes. So from a practical standpoint, take a look at how much time you're going to take off, how much money you need for your business and for yourself during that time, and break it up. Yes, you're going to have to cut expenses. Yes, you're going to have to be mindful of what you're doing. Yes, you might have to incorporate things like when you get pregnant and you start going to the doctor, wait till they start hitting you with those doctor bills before the baby's even born. They're like, hey, you have to prepay, thousands of dollars. I have to, every time I go, it's they're like, give me your credit card for, your delivery. And I'm like, 3 months pregnant. I'm like, okay. So it's you have to know and prepare for all of these things if you don't want to be stressed out, right? And if you want to have sort of like this experience where you're not resentful, right? You can get resentful very quickly because you're like, I'm pregnant, I don't feel good, I have to pay for this, pregnant, have to pay for everything, and I'm going to lose out on all of this income. And so I just really try to coach people and work with people, like, look at your state, look at what options you have, look at your partner's options, like maybe they have maternity leave or paternity leave. Maybe they have something available to them. And then just know that ultimately when you're in private practice, there's so many pros. A little bit of a con is that, yes, when you go on maternity leave, you may not get paid because you don't work for a big company. And that one way to do it is to get short-term disability. So I hope this was helpful. If you ever need support around maternity leave planning for that, let me know. I'm here to help you. I'll see you soon, everybody. Bye.